welcome to Tea and Banter with me. It's me, Mary Elizabeth.
And Felicia.
And we are actually driving. We're on our way back from going out for tea to the Jolie Tea Company.
Yep.
And then we did go to Barnes & Noble's for a little bit to sit down and read and, look for books. So I did a little brief tour in Barnes, just showing a few books. And we also, I did take a couple of pictures of the tea room.
Yep.
So if you're ever in Beverly or Salem, Massachusetts, because there's two locations, it's called the Jolie Tea Company. And their food's not bad, and their tea is good. If you go with someone who's a big eater, I wouldn't recommend it, but if you're not a big eater, it's fine, and it is tasty.
Mm-hmm.
But I need to tell you a funny story because which is usually, I think, on a menu in a tea room is salmon.
Mm-hmm.
Sandwich,
yes.
Whatever. I cannot eat salmon. I get ill from it. So naturally, they ask if you have allergies, and so it was easy to accommodate me.
Mm-hmm.
They just didn't give me a salmon sandwich. Fine. So then the waitress was asking Missy Tish over here if she has any allergies, and for some reason she hit a certain age, and onions and garlic she just cannot eat. It
Makes me very sick.
It gets bad. So she tells them that, and so basically they tell her, because we made a reservation, you get the 3-tier or whatever, so they basically come out and told her that she can't have that. So she has to order from the lunch menu. Fine. So she picked duck sliders, which actually,
very good.
if you do go to the Jolie Company, I would say don't go
that.
there for the tray. Yeah, get the it's the duck sliders, and they were
so
delicious. But they come out and they said she can't have the sauce on the duck. And it comes with a salad, but she can't have the dressing.
Yeah, the chef personally told me herself everything's smothered in onions and garlic.
Yeah.
They use it a lot. And I was like, oh okay.
Which I love onions and garlic, and I think most people do.
I
and
do
Felicia
love it.
does love onions
However,
and garlic, but
it doesn't love me.
no.
I'm very allergic.
So the chef had stopped you on your way to the ladies' room.
Yeah.
So when she come back, she was just looking at me because they had placed a menu. I was
She
laughing.
was hysterical.
I was laughing so hard. And I said to her, you know what? I can't. She's also extremely allergic to flowers.
I am. And there was a flower on the table.
Yep. So there's a flower on the table, real flower. So that became an issue. And so I said, I can't ever go to Ireland or England with you. What am I going to do with you? We're going to have to just leave you in your room. And her response is, well, I guess I'll have to go to a Wendy's or a Burger King. I am not going to England or Ireland. First of all, I don't really like to eat them here.
I don't like to eat them here either, but I'm not going to die.
We'll get you some bread and butter or something.
But my luck, it will have garlic on it. Or onions in it.
So anyway, we are headed back home, and we'll talk a little more when we get home about Barnes & Noble's.
Yep.
Because that was a little tricky for me in terms of even getting a book. So we'll talk about that. But I just thought I'd give you a little brief update while we're driving of our tea.
Experience.
Yes. So that's, because I don't know where, I'll be able to take her.
I'm sorry.
But, you should show them. Well, you can show them when we get back, I guess. So we'll show you everything when we get back. For now, peace out.
Bye.
Hi, everyone. We're back from our drive home from the tea room and Barnes & Noble's. But before we get started, I just wanted to show this cute little notepad. so I got this at the dollar store, and I just think this is the cutest thing. And it's just a little notepad with a whole bunch of different stickies. And I originally bought it to see if there was a way to make this into some kind of planner. But I don't have that kind of talent or foresight. But for $1, this is a great little buy. It's a little notepad, and there are plenty of stickies here, all different ones. So well worth the $1. I did get a couple of them to take notes or whatever. But of course, when I buy pretty things, I tend to not touch them because I don't know what to do with them. But I plan on doing something with it. Maybe I'll just use it in my journals or whatnot. Okay, so what did you think of the tea room?
I loved it.
Did you love it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very nice. Again, not what I had expected, but it was very good. So then we went to Barnes and Nobles, and of course I carried in all my bags, my art supply bag, my journal bag, and didn't get to do that. But I had gone around. I will include, I just did a little brief kind of video showing you Barnes and Nobles, and I also again have some pictures of the tea room and things like that, so we'll include that in the video. But while I was doing a little videotaping in Barnes and Nobles, Felicia was reading, and so I brought back to the table a book that I wanted her to read, and she said, go get the other one so we can read it together. So we just left with one book. They're both the same, and it is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. Now, I read this a while ago, and I know that I loved it. I know this book has mixed reviews, or the series has mixed reviews, but I can't remember if I read all of them, but I know that I really enjoyed this one. And this is about a mystery of a kidnapping quite many years ago, and then a student, it's like a privileged boarding school where smart, intelligent children can go and kind of make their own curriculum or degree kind of courses. And so this one girl, Stevie, I think her name is Stevie Bell, decides that what her goal is going to be is to solve that mystery of the kidnapping. And so that's really where this story goes. And I really, really enjoyed it. So because it's a school setting, it's a mystery, I just felt Felicia would love it. I don't know. She might be on the team of I hate it. Some people did. So, but she asked if we could read it together because it's been a long time. So we both got the one book. Now, I did show you some books in the video that I actually brought back to the table and was going to think about buying, and then I stopped myself. And the reason why I stopped myself is because I don't want to spend money nilly-willy just to say I have more books. And I really want to be cognizant of my library. I want my library to be an amazing library, that every book on the shelf is a book that I love and will go back and reread. So I am being really diligent on doing that. However, then it's also a new dilemma I'm coming across is what is with all the new covers? Every time I turn around, there's a new cover. And if it's a favorite book, I have to have the new cover. So that's the other thing. If I'm going to spend the money, I want to spend the money on the books that I know will stay on my shelf that I will reread. And for the books that I really love, I get the covers. For example, Gianna Darlin's Fallen Men series. I know there's 4, definitely. I think there was even 5 different covers. I only have 2 of the covers of that series. And so I know there's a 3rd set that I would like to get, but I don't think it's out yet. So that's going to be a work in progress. So yeah. So then the other thing that I want to talk about is my journal here. I've showed this before. This is kind of, I take with me every time I go out, in case I go to a used bookstore or Bonds. And it's basically part of my list of series, as well as all the books in my library, and I add to it if I add a book, highlight when I've read it, etc. What I've decided to do is I am going to probably redo this list in here at some point, even if it's by the end of the year, to say, okay, these are the books that I'm definitely keeping, these are the books I'm not, and I'm going to probably use Audible, my library, my Kindle, to read a book before I purchase it. And then if it's a book that I absolutely love and know I will reread, I will buy that book. So that, you know, when times are tough and you can't buy a book, at least you have books that you love that you can take from, and or if a great cover comes out, I have the money to buy that, rather than I've wasted the money on a book I've read once. And it's sort of like we had 3 when we did the book buddy.
Yeah.
The Poppy Harmon and 2 others
Yeah.
that, you know, I bought them as gifts for us to try, so it's fine. It was a buddy read.
Yeah.
But it's 3 books I spent money on that I don't want to continue and wouldn't read again. So, you know, thinking about that, that's 3 books that I could have purchased, either a special edition cover, or to a series I really love. And there are some series out there that I still need to buy, as well as books to series that I have to get caught up on. Like my Deadwood series, I think I'm missing 4 to that series. So I still have to get those. Yep. And then I have the Thursday Murder Club.
Yep.
The 4th book is out, but I don't want that one. I want it because it's in hardcover. I want the paperback. Yep. Because all my other ones are in paperback. So things like that. I just want to spend my money correctly. Yeah. If that makes sense. So not to say that there won't be a book purchased in, and I certainly have a lot of books that I haven't read that are like first in a series that I have to go through. And again, if they come off my bookshelves and get donated or whatever, then they need to come off this list. And I either have to do some kind of tick or something to say they're no longer on my bookshelf, or create a whole new bookshelf, which eventually I will need to do. What else? I think that's all I have. Oh, great news, great news, great news. I'll let you tell it. What have you done?
I finished Stalking Jack the Ripper.
Woo! Everybody, woo! It finally happened.
It did.
So, give us your review of this book.
I gave it 5 stars. It's an awesome mystery. It is not cozy. It is very, very graphic. So if you're not into like explicit details on a body, a dead body, it might not be for you. But it is really a good book. It's about Audrey Rose, who wants to be a pathologist. She has this awesome uncle. Her uncle Jonathan's a pathologist, and he supports her. And she just prefers to get her hands dirty. She just wants to be, she's brainy. She doesn't want to just be in a tea room or trying to look for a husband. It's not that she doesn't like tea.
All right.
Her older brother takes her on picnics.
Oh,
yeah,
that's so sweet.
So he is, yeah. So he is very, he's so sweet. But her father, and my reaction reading the father is, okay, he's mean because he just wants her to go to tea rooms. He wants her to be in society, and he's meeting men on her behalf, which
to marry her
off. She doesn't even know what's going on. And in my head, as I'm reading, I'm like, what is the matter with you?
But the time.
It is the time. And, I didn't realize that until I got going, and I was just like, okay, so it's just a product of the time. But then Audrey the uncle gets called in because bodies start turning up in Whitechapel. And she gets to assist him. And they actually use the poor women's names from the actual history.
Right.
And that's where the graphic comes in. You're getting the actual case details, and the cops get the letters. If you're familiar with the Jack the Ripper case at all, letters were poured in to the cops, written in red ink. Like I said, it is very graphic. And there's also flirty banter. Audrey meets a cop who ends up helping the uncle on the case. And he realizes, because she ends up coming to his classes dressed as a boy. But the cop has figured out, okay, this is a girl. And they automatically, he tells her in her ear, I know who you are. And it starts off a banter. And she's like, I didn't realize you were that clever. And it just goes back and forth. And so there's a little romance, despite all the chaos and the horror that's going around. But overall, it's a 5-star read. I would continue this series. I enjoyed it immensely. Yeah, and it's fast paced, and it just keeps on your toes.
Okay, so there was no lull in the story, where you were because
I wasn't bored.
Okay,
I wasn't bored.
Okay,
this is really, really good. I highly recommend this book, and I'm definitely continuing.
Now, were there side characters? Do you know, did she have I'm making this up, but did she have a Watson? To her being Sherlock?
Thomas.
The cop. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, is this a series you would own?
Yes.
And you would continue?
Yes. And I didn't know, apparently there's a Jack the Ripper novella. That's just, I guess, Jack telling his story.
Oh, to this series?
To this series.
Oh,
and it's purple.
Oh, well, there you go. I have to read it because it's purple.
No. Which I didn't know. See, I know there's Stalking Jack the Ripper, Hunting Houdini.
Who's the author?
Carrie, I'm sorry if I say your last name wrong, Maniscalco?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a Dracula one.
Ooh, I'd like that one, I bet.
And there's another one, but it's yellow, but I can't remember the name of it. Forgive me. But yeah, there is another one.
Okay.
And they're all supposed to be really good. But this one, it's 5 stars.
5 stars?
Yeah.
All right. So, I read... Oh my God, what did I read? No, listen. First of all, let me say, we had to come home before we finished filming because I don't know about anybody else. It's nice to dress up and get outside. And not that I was dressed fancy, but there's nothing like being in some sweats. And a t-shirt or a sweatshirt. Yeah. So I needed to come home and do that. That was a priority. And make a cup of tea. But anyway, so the other day I finished one of my favorite authors, Gianna Dallin, her book, The Anti-Heroes. And it's a mafia story. And it's a 2-book. It was a 2-book, I guess you'd call it a series, a duet. And I got it off a Kindle, and so I was like, oh, this is one of the backlists for Gianna, so I'll read it. And the heroine and the hero, I felt so bad for the heroine, and the hero, I guess he's the villain, a mafia capo. But I loved him. He did everything in his power to make her feel better of the things that happened in her life. He just kept empowering her and encouraging her and helping her get to truthful answers as well as avenging her in some situations. And I just loved him. And I felt so bad for her. So then I was watching an interview with Gianna Dallin, who was talking about the anti-hero. And she said she was nervous about writing the anti-heroes because everyone hated Elena. It's Elena and Dante. And I was like, why would they hate Elena? Well, apparently there's more books to this series, and I didn't know it. And so there's 2 books and then 3, or 3 and then 2, and then the anti-hero. So of course I read the last to the series. I read Elena's book. So I went back and I not finished, but I started reading the first book. I hate Elena in the first book. Hate her. And now I understand why Gianna said she was nervous to write Elena's book, because I don't like her at all. Now, with that said, I got in my head now her story, and I get where she was coming from.
Mm-hmm.
But if I hadn't had that story, there would be no love loss at all. Even though some things happened that are unfair to her, even in this first book, I still did not like her at all.
Mm-hmm.
So, needless to say, I'm really enjoying this series, and I forget the 2 books that I'm currently reading, but rest assured, I'm going to get through them all, and I will hopefully be able to review them all with you next week and give you my final thoughts on those books. But right now, I'm just going to put it out there that they're fabulous, and of course Gianna is always on her A game as far as I'm concerned. So I'm looking forward to them. This one is her sister Giselle and Sinclair. I don't want to give any spoilers. And it's a sad book. Elena's book was sad too, the anti-heroes. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. There's 3 sisters and a brother. There's Elena, Giselle. I think you pronounce her name Cosima? Cosimo or M-A is how you spell her name. So I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. And then there's a brother, Sebastian. So it's basically Sebastian, and it's funny because I started reading Anti-Hero. I finished that, and now I had to backtrack and go to Giselle's. And Gianna announced that she's either writing Sebastian's or going to be writing Sebastian's story.
Oh, okay.
So that's really cool. So hopefully we'll get through them before she does that. So yeah. So that was a mouthful of nothing for you. But I will definitely be able to, hopefully put a picture up of Anti-Heroes, and then next week go into more details about the other ones. But so that's all I have for today. Are you?
I'm excited because my birthday was on May 30th.
Oh, yes.
And I got a few things. My mama got me The Sound of Murder, which I am on page 58 now.
And can I just tell you,
And
she
I love
cried.
it.
She's already cried for this book.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm not going to. If you want to read the back, I don't know. Just to give a little synopsis. Who's it by?
K.L. Montgomery.
Okay.
Let's see. How do you solve a problem like a murder? Ruby Echo has been a chorus girl her whole life. You have a great voice and such a pretty face, but we don't have a leading role for someone your size, is what casting directors have always told her. But she's finally landed a nice gig, turning with a traveling theater troupe. Being in the choir affords her the opportunity to sightsee in every town they visit, and to shine in a brand new role when one of her castmates turns up dead. Can Ruby solve the mystery of what happened to Mother Abrius in their production of The Sound of Music? Would someone actually murder a woman who was in town to play a nun? Ruby intends to climb every mountain on her quest to bring the murderer to justice, or else it might be so long farewell to our favorite chorus girl.
So it's almost on the idea of Sound of Music, right?
Yes. Well,
that-
it is. That's the play.
Oh, okay. So that's really cool.
And-
That's a series.
This is a series?
Yeah, a musical series. I believe the next one is, you're not going to like it, but
What is it?
I think it's West Side Story. I know you don't like that one, but you might like the story because it's a murder mystery. So you never know.
I hope so.
You never know. But that sounds good.
This is good. This, I have to say, is going really good. I'm already on, where am I? Page 58.
Okay, so you'll be able to give a review next weekend.
That's my plan, yes.
Beautiful.
My plan is to get this done. Also, I don't know if you remember a few videos ago, I was looking for a book my mama had at Barnes & Nobles, and I couldn't find it. Turns out she got it for me for my birthday. It's The Autopsy of a Fairy Tale.
This is the one, and this is by Nicole Scarano, that has a beautiful art piece in it that's not good. It's a murder.
It's a murder.
But it's just beautiful. I need to show it.
Oh my god.
I need to show it because it's...
You remember where it is?
The artist is amazing. I think that's more it, is that she's...
Oh, it is.
She's amazing. Whoever the artist is. I forget who the artist is. Oh, no, that's him. No, I want her. So I think she's... Hold on, everybody. I will... There she is. I just have to show this one picture. So, I don't know if you can see that, but whoever that artist is, she is just amazing. And I know it's someone murdered, but it's just beautifully done.
It's beautifully done.
I say that every time. I don't know what else to say, but it's beautifully done. She is. Just
It's a good
fabulous.
drawing.
Who's the artist? Does it say?
No. I'm assuming it's her.
Can I see?
Because if there's no one
Can I see?
saying to be
Because
the artist, it's her, isn't it?
She needs a shout out. I don't know. I'm giving her a shout out if she's in here. Crime Scene Sketches by Mary.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna spell it because I know I'm not gonna say it right. Begleetsova. So that is the artist, and she is amazing. I don't know if she would sell her own prints or whatever, but beautiful.
They are beautiful.
Beautiful.
Also, I got Harry Potter pens.
Oh my god.
One says Transfiguration. The blue one says Charms. Green one is Potions. And of course the gold is Herbology. And I love them, and they click.
Oh, they click. Oh, they click. I don't know if you can see that.
So happy.
Yeah, they're clicky.
I love the clicky. I love
How
a
do they
clicky
feel?
pen.
Oh, well,
I like it.
it's on the idea of my pen.
Yeah.
I mean, not as, maybe a little more, well, so you can see the difference. Mine is the Papermate Inkjoy. So I don't know if you can see kind of it's a close,
Yeah, it's on the
similar
idea.
in size, but very cute.
But I love them.
Yeah, she had to get those.
Yeah.
So
I love Harry Potter.
I know you love Harry Potter.
Twilight, House of Night, anything really. Murder mysteries, all kinds of things.
All right, so that's it for today. As always, I hope that you are safe and you are loved, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.